Good morning. If you're just joining us, we are getting started by reflecting in the Jamboard that Luke has just reposted in our chat, where we're reviewing how we've implemented some instructional moves that we covered in Module 4 in between our time from Module 4 and Module 5. And thank you to those who are already getting started posting. Oh, Jessica, I am loving seeing the use of read write happening in your classroom. Ooh, especially kiddos using it without support at this point. Sounds like it is now a well-functioning routine. So that is such a huge win for you and your kiddos. Love hearing about read write. Ooh, looks like somebody's using Google Forms for peer-to-peer feedback. Candy looks like she used it with high school and middle schoolers, and Sentence Stems gave them kind of a pathway to give really rich feedback to one another. Love that you gave them some supports to get that feedback going back and forth. Looks like we had some classroom engagement with GimKit. Ooh, Kathy, I really appreciate your reflection with read and write with some of the barriers or maybe just some obstacles that you had with implementation. Curious, I'm sure a lot of people have had that same issue too, but love that you kept pushing forward and found a new path for that. Third graders giving each other feedback in Google Forms. That is so stinking cute. I love that. And they were teaching one another. That's incredible. Jill setting up mastery in Schoology. It is a process. Yes. And again, it's kind of like your own routine that you're setting up with yourself. And I think it'll just become more and more part of your habit and your teaching as you keep continuing to use it. But that is an awesome, great first step. I'm so proud. That's awesome. Ooh, read and write in French language. Is that for a like French language class? And we'll take about 2 more minutes. If you haven't already, we have a Jamboard in the chat. We have our prior commitments from Module 4 and some content that we covered, and we're just reflecting on how we've implemented some of those instructional moves in that time in between. Whoever was talking about using read and write for French language, yay, thank you for putting your name, rock on. We'll definitely follow up with you. We have some read and write experts on our team. Ooh, I love this reflection on Mastery Tracker. Kind of just affirming Jill's work and setting it up. Closely working with Mastery Tracker requires a lot of rethinking, but it's a good tool. So it takes a lot of time in the front loading, but works out in the end.
Can I say something really fast?
Please.
So, I've been teaching for a really long time, and I've seen read and write on IEPs, and I'm ashamed to say that I just never knew how to use it. Well, I'm ashamed to say, but I really shouldn't be because, right, we have so much on our plates. I just wonder, like, do we have in the district like I think we do, right? You guys have those videos that are on the EdTech YouTube. I just think that it'd be nice, like every year, if those were sent out in like the Teacher Weekly or something like that. I mean, it was absolutely like life-changing for these couple fourth graders that I have that, you know, they just, yeah, there are a lot of gaps. They also, you know, have some reading disabilities, but I mean, they're able to write now without support. And I just think it would be amazing if all teachers knew how to use it without having to take like a whole PDO.
Yeah, Jessica, that's awesome. I love that idea of putting our resources into Teacher Weekly at the beginning of the year. And so everybody has it. If you're very interested, or if you missed our session last time, we do have our read and write all in one, as we call it, where we have our YouTube videos, we have resources like all put together. So if you want to know more about read and write, here's our main resource for that.
There are also videos in Spanish for students of second language, so they can be trained using those videos.
Thank you for speaking out for your, not only your experience in read and write, but just like how impactful it was, and like how impactful it can be if we just, you know, send out a simple resource. So thank you. We're going to move on from our Jamboard and get started with session 5 for classroom technology integration in support of student experience and achievement. Session 5 is going to be all around high expectations. And just to quickly introduce you to your EdTech and Library Services team presenting to you today. My name is Kaylee Parachia. I am a digital coach that primarily works with middle schools and pathway high schools.
And I'm Matthew Willems. I mostly work with elementary schools as a digital coach.
And then we have a few folks at the Discovery Education session. So Felicia, Chelsea, Brian are all there supporting Discovery Education. My name is Luke Lund. I'm the manager of educational technology, and I'm very excited to say that Brittany Horton is going to be back from maternity leave on Wednesday. So if Brittany is your coach starting Wednesday, you can interact with her. And then two, not on the slide here officially, but starting very soon, we have Katie Bianchini, who's our new STEM coach, who is here. You can see her. She's joining us remotely as she works to move to Colorado to support all of our students in STEM and DPS. So welcome to her as well.
Thank you. It's great to meet y'all. I'm excited to join and be part of the Denver team.
And I am EJ Rodriguez. I am the EdTech coach for high schools.
And I'm Drea Aguirre. I am a digital coach. I primarily support 612s and pathways.
Okay. Then Denver Public Schools is a district that believes there is some work to be done yet around equity. And we have our equity statement here. We want to ground our work today on that statement. So I'm going to read it for you. Racial and educational equity is our collective responsibility. We will achieve equity when we dismantle deeply rooted systems of oppression that have historically resulted in inequitable access and distribution of opportunities and resources for those who represent marginalized identities, including race, ethnicity, gender, identity, sexual orientation, language, and ability. We will create conditions where we all belong, are included, have clear purpose why, and have the autonomy to lead in our respective areas. By creating these conditions, we will eliminate the predictability of success or failure for our students and team members. Hopefully, that will lead us to a vision where every learner thrives. And what do we mean by every learner thrive? Educational equity is our collective responsibility. That's what we believe. We prepare students for career, college, and life. We create conditions and partnerships where students, families, and team members belong and thrive together.
This is our model of our DPS experience. As you can see, the students are at the center of everything that we do. It's the first value that we have. It's the most important feature of DPS. It relies extensively on the adult experience, and that diverse workforce needs a strong system experience, including equity and excellence, in order to be able to support students who are supporting adults who are supporting our students and helping them make their dreams a reality. Next slide. So our call to action for every learner thriving is that we are one DPS. That means everybody here and the rest of the district. Thank you.
And just to note again that we do have our academic technology menu. If there's any technology tools that you want to use walking away from today that are not district purchased, then just please put them on your ATM. Here's a video how to do that process. And then just a heads up that next year we're gonna have a new, much simpler process using a new tool that we are working with Dots to get rolled up right now. So look for next year a new, simpler process for reporting that and being in legal compliance.
So today we're talking all about high expectations. So we're going to make sure that we are implementing strategies that for all of our students, make sure that we have the bar high, give them appropriate scaffolds and supports. And what that entails, for this mindset, we have a lot of different key actions that we're working on, just depending on the strategy that you go into. So we're really going to be hyper-focused on rigorous tasks, activities that engage all of our students, and then also a little bit of feedback sprinkled in there as well. So again, just based on the strategy that you select, you're going to hit a bunch of these different key action steps. And remember that we do record our sessions. So if there's a couple that you want to go and hit later, you can always check them out about a week after this session has lapsed.
And we always like to make connections for everyone in our Teal Day presentations and just say that like our CRE mindsets fit really well with the district priorities of grade level texts and tasks and safe and welcoming district for everyone. So today in our high expectations, you can see that this really goes along with this rigorous student engagement with grade level text and tasks and making equitable learning and working environment for all. So you're going to see both our CRE connections today and our district priority today working together in all of our breakout rooms. And this is our PII. It's basically then a document, if you haven't seen it before, as to how this is actually getting into our classroom. So what does it look like to have our district priority statements and our alignment actually in action in our classroom? So we're going to be focusing on levels 3 and 4 today. What we really want to see as we're out in schools day to day in classrooms working with our students. So we're going to be focusing on practice 1 and 2 on our instrument today.
And here is our strategy overview. Strategy 1 is going to focus on student collaboration, high expectation for student collaboration using Canva and Google Suite. You also have the choice of strategy 2, meaningful academic discussions, how to have meaningful academic discussions, providing language supports using formerly Flipgrid, and also Jamboard. Strategy 3 will cover rigorous student products, defining rigor and tips in designing rigorous lessons using Schoology and Google Classroom rubrics, presentation options for students, and students as teachers. Then we have the technology teachers and teacher librarians doing the Discovery Education presentation that Luke was mentioning this morning. This presentation covered materials and curriculum from Discovery Education, is delivered by the trainers from their company. So those are the choices, and let me show you then the meet rooms, strategy 1. You guys can